Wow, this story really gives me chills. So the next time you're bored and looking for a fun adventure, remember the story of Lena and always stay far, far away from tunnels. And also, don't forget to show your support if you enjoyed the story. Okay, now let's get to the story. Deep within the sprawling wilderness of Russia, nestled amidst rolling hills and dense pine forests, lay the inconspicuous town of Gremyot. This small rural town seemed like the perfect idyllic countryside retreat. Its cobblestone streets and charming wooden houses painted in pastel hues spoke of a simpler, slower way of life. However, beneath this tranquil facade, the town harbored a dark secret that had been buried for decades. In the 1980s, the once peaceful town had been shaken to its core by a horrific tragedy that left an indelible scar on its collective memory. The accident, which occurred at the notorious Black Tunnel, had claimed several lives and had been shrouded in mystery ever since. Today, we will delve into the haunting tale of the Black Tunnel and the inexplicable events that have transpired there, leaving those who dare to enter forever changed. In the heart of Gremyachka lived 19-year-old Lena. She was known for her infectious laughter and adventurous spirit. Growing up in this close-knit community, Lena had forged a deep bond with her cousin Zoya, despite being raised in different households. The two girls were inseparable and shared a bond that was as strong as any sisterly tie. Weekends were their special time for exploration and mischief. Their favorite pastime was to venture out into the surrounding areas, discovering abandoned buildings, structures, and places untouched by modern development. One such place was the Black Tunnel, a crumbling railway passage that wound its way through the woods. It was here that Lena and Zoya's curiosity knew no bounds. For years, they had heard tales of the tunnel from the older folks in town, stories of strange occurrences and unexplained phenomena that took place within its dark confines. These tales had only fueled their desire to explore the tunnel and uncover the truth behind the legends. However, they had never ventured into the tunnel before today. As a heavy rain poured down and wind howled through the trees, the girls stood at the entrance of the tunnel. The tunnel's gaping maw seemed to be a portal into another world, promising both danger and intrigue. With flashlights in hand, Lena and Zoya prepared to enter the tunnel and unravel its mysteries. As they stepped inside, the darkness enveloped them like a thick blanket, muffling the sound of the rain and wind. The beam of their flashlights cut through the gloom, revealing a tunnel that was a testament to time's relentless passage. Crumbling walls loomed on either side, adorned with graffiti and the remnants of what was once vibrant paint. The air grew colder as they ventured deeper, carrying with it a musty odor that spoke of neglect and decay. About halfway through, Lena's flashlight flickered, casting eerie shadows that danced and twisted on the tunnel walls. The sudden darkness only amplified the silence, making it deafening. In the stillness, Lena could hear her own heartbeat echoing in her ears. Then Zoya stopped walking. "Did you hear that?" she whispered, her voice trembling slightly. Lena paused, straining to listen. She thought she could hear faint whispers, not words, just unintelligible sounds moving, swirling as if coming from the very walls themselves. "I don't hear anything," Lena replied, trying to sound confident, though her own unease was growing. The whispers grew louder, weaving together to form a low hum that seemed to reverberate through the tunnel. Zoya took a step back, her eyes wide with fear. "Let's get out of here," she said urgently. But before Lena could respond, her foot caught on something in the gravel, sending her sprawling onto the ground. Her flashlight rolled away, coming to rest in a puddle at the edge of the tunnel floor. As she scrambled to retrieve it, Zoya cried out, "Lena, hurry up. I don't like this." But when Lena stood up and turned around, she realized with a jolt that Zoya had vanished. "Zoya!" she shouted, her voice echoing endlessly within the tunnel's confines. There was no answer except the mocking echo of her own fear. Panic surged through Lena as she raced deeper into the tunnel. The tunnel twisted and turned, its path seemingly random and without purpose. Each turn brought Lena closer to Zoya, or so she hoped. But the darkness was thick and suffocating, and the oppressive silence was broken only by her own ragged breathing. Just when her hope began to dwindle, Lena saw a figure ahead. Someone stood just out of reach, bathed in the weak beam of another flashlight. "Zoya!" she cried out, rushing forward. But as the figure turned, Lena froze. It was Zoya, or what appeared to be her. But something was terribly wrong. Zoya's face was drained of color, her skin ashen and lifeless. Her eyes, once warm and full of life, were now pitch black, devoid of any humanity. A chilling smile stretched across her face, too wide, too jagged, as if it didn't know how to end. It was as though Zoya had become a mere vessel, inhabited by an entity from beyond our understanding. With a mixture of terror and desperation, Lena stumbled back. She tried to call out to her cousin, but no sound came forth. The creature tilted its head, as if studying Lena, and then spoke in Zoya's voice. Yet it was a voice twisted and corrupted. "Why did you leave me?" The creature took a step forward. "Why did you abandon me?" Its voice echoed with an otherworldly resonance that sent shivers down Lena's spine. Lena screamed, her voice raw with fear, and turned to flee. She ran blindly, her heart pounding against her ribs, desperate to escape the clutches of the tunnel and the horrifying specter that lurked within. She didn't stop running until she burst out of the tunnel entrance, collapsing on the ground outside, gasping for breath. The rain had stopped and a sliver of sunlight peeked through the clouds, casting long shadows on the wet ground. Shaking and sobbing, Lena recounted the terrifying experience to the police. She described the tunnel, the creature, and the haunting question that still echoed in her ears. But as the days passed and the police conducted their investigation, no trace of Zoya was found. The vast expanse of the tunnel, with its labyrinthine paths and dark recesses, had yielded no answers. Zoya's disappearance remained a baffling mystery. Lena's life was irrevocably altered. The vibrant and spirited young woman who had once loved to explore abandoned places was now consumed by fear and uncertainty. The shadow of the black tunnel loomed over her every waking moment. She couldn't bring herself to step foot near the tunnel entrance, haunted by the horrifying encounter with the creature. Sleep offered no respite as nightmares of the creature with its soulless eyes and distorted smile tormented her dreams. Each night, the whispers from the tunnel seemed to reach out, probing her deepest fears. As weeks turned into months, Lena retreated further into herself, becoming a mere shadow of her former self. The joy and laughter that had once defined her were replaced by a haunting sadness. The tunnel had not only taken Zoya, but had broken Lena's spirit as well. But the story takes a darker turn. Lena's tormentors weren't done with her yet. Every night after that, Lena awoke from her troubled sleep to the scratching sound of claws on her bedroom window. Peeking through the curtains, she would see the same ghostly figure from the tunnel, her skin pale and eyes still black, staring directly at Lena. Sometimes the figure would appear in the closet or under Lena's bed, whispering the haunting words, "Why didn't you save me?" The whispers grew louder each night, more insistent, more desperate. They seeped into Lena's dreams, invading her thoughts, driving her to the brink of madness. Driven to desperation, Lena turned to the townspeople for help. But their responses only added to her despair. Some dismissed her claims as the ravings of a troubled mind, while others whispered of her involvement in Zoya's disappearance. The very people who once knew and understood her now treated her as an outcast, their fear and suspicion palpable. With no one to turn to, Lena became increasingly isolated, trapped in a nightmare that refused to end. The scratching at the window grew more frantic, the whispers more urgent. And then one night, Lena disappeared. The townspeople awoke to find Lena's room empty, her bed unmade, as if she had vanished into thin air. Outside, the morning mist clung to the ground, shrouding the town in an eerie silence. The disappearance only added to the enigma of the black tunnel. A neighbor recalled seeing Lena walking toward the tunnel at midnight, drawn once again to its dark embrace. The police found her flashlight at the entrance, and scrunched against the tunnel wall was a single red rose, its petals soft and fresh as if placed there moments before. And that is the story of the Black Tunnel. Do you believe in ghosts? Let me know in the comments, and if you want to hear more creepy stories, follow for more content. Thank you for listening.